Hello everybody, Derpalypse here. Welcome back to some more Reverse 1999. Continue where we left off here. 37 got nuked, and we just cut away from that. So there's a war going on that island now. Don't know what that's all about. And I'm pretty sure the star, whatever, I think this is the like a .5 chapter, 5.5, I guess. Like it's like Limbus Company. And I'm pretty sure this is gonna cover nothing about it, at least not for right now. So let's just go into it. Lovely meeting. With a shake of our heart, the little white duck finds the gold crest. Okay, so let's see who we're switching up to now. Yeah, part one. I'm ready. I'm ready for it. I'm ready to get back to the boat. I want to get back to that island, you know. Oh, we're at the Foundation. SPDM library.
So this is the library in Burton's school.
So we're back with Sotheby here. So that's really nice. It might change up pretty soon. Kane is barking at nothing.
So many people here. They're probably around my age.
Alright, let's see. Agoria's sap green dress jumps into the library of SPDM. Its owner keeps talking to a single song tone like a chirping gold crest.
We've also got this many shelves in the library of Sotheby's Manor.
You had this many shelves.
Are there any alchemy workshops and potion warehouses here, like in our manor?
The young lady stands out on her tippy toes, looking around the place curiously.
Where can I find Miss Buaniche? Madame Z told me to come here, but she didn't give any other clues. The people here really need Mr. Teacapper, who is always nice and warm to the guests.
I don't remember who this is.
Just twist his teapot ear, then he can take you anywhere.
I think that was her butler.
If not so, placing a luck-a-day potion at the entrance would help as well. If I had made it before I came, Miss Buaniche and I might have met by now. Or she will just pop up behind me. Are you looking for me?
Oh, that's her last name?
Oh my word!
Imagine getting jump scared.
That was too loud. Where are my manners?
I think that was Matilda. I forgot her last name. Slowly straightens the wrinkles on her dress and gives her hand out like a real lady.
Oh, nice to meet you. Are you Miss Buaniche?
The other girl nods half-heartedly. Her uniform speaks for herself. It seems to be a historic first meeting for them.
That's fantastic. How did you find me? Did you see me in the Oneiromancy? Or through a crystal orb? Either way, it is the great Arcanum. I'm much greater than that. Look at you, dressed as if you'd just been to a ball. You are as eye-catching as the pigment board on a sketch.
Damn, really called her out on that dress.
I saw you the moment I came into the library. A ball? Does the Foundation hold balls too? No, I'm saying... Est-ce que tous les amis de Vertine parlent comme ça? Never mind.
Oh, okay.
Madame Z told me you wanted to look up the materials on the mysterious school
Yeah,
that believes in numbers here.
He's chilling. Alright, man, you see, I didn't get to hear any of this mysterious school believes something.
That's right. Miss Mossel told me she will thoroughly check the documents in the Foundation archive. So I'll go through the books in the SPDM library. If we can find anything about that school, we can be of more help to Vertin and her team. I'm sorry, Miss Sotheby, but I'm afraid the situation is going to disappoint you.
So are we really just doing like an entire like mini arc with Sotheby now after we just see the shit at that island? Nah, there ain't no way. There ain't no way this is just 5 chapters.
Here, the kind-hearted monitor assistant already gained valuable access to the library. But I haven't found any records regarding the mysterious school that believes in numbers yet.
Okay, well you spent less over. I have found any work regarding this mysterious school that believes in numbers yet. So they're trying to learn about the island right now. Even though you know you could have learned more about the island if you know went, but all right. Actually, wait, wasn't this? Actually, I think I remember like back when the chapter first started and when I first started the chapter, like, how long is that thing? Like, I think like 4 months is like 4 to 3 months. I'm pretty sure this is when they're doing the two teams. So they have Sotheby, Druvis, someone else. They were going to look up information in the other location, I'm pretty sure, and then they went to the actual island. Like a bolt out of the blue.
Oh, but Miss Mossel said there are so many books here that they can cover the entire back of a Stronsay beast.
That's a bit exaggerated, but she's right. Nevertheless, the librarian was transferred to a more important position years ago due to the storm. Many old books are not yet sorted. Some even went missing in the chaos.
Okay. Okay.
The only relevant materials I could find are the stories of Pythagoras and some books on mathematical theorems. But I don't think they have anything to do with Vertine's issue.
What Matilda sees now is a pair of tear-dim eyes.
That means I can't do anything to help them.
Yeah, poor soul. Cheer up. You'll be good. You'll be a good support healer. Cause yeah, that's just gonna go down pretty soon.
Stop being emotional. It doesn't work on this professional member of the Foundation.
She looks away and clears her throat like a grown-up.
Without field investigation permission, I can't take you out to collect information. But in fact, there is still another reference room only known to the most outstanding monitor assistant.
Hooray!
Other students in the library cast disgruntled look glances at them.
Shh. It's a violation to make noises in the library. Please follow me, Miss Sotheby.
Alright, so they're doing a little bit thing right there. Am I actually going to the little books? Please. I do not want to read no more. Please don't do it. Tall shells. Unfamiliar surroundings. And an impossible mission. The girls walk through the shells like fish swimming through coral.
Thank you so much, Miss Buanish. You mentioned ball. I haven't heard that word for a very long time. I remember what Mr. Carson, my butler, had taught me.
Oh.
He said, express your gratitude to fair ladies by holding a grand ball. I'll write to my father and ask for a brand new, unsinkable and maneuverable rock and roll park. I'm sure he will gladly say yes.
Maneuverable rock and roll park?
Yes. We can hold a twist ball on it when Bertin and her team are back.
Please allow me to say no. The monitor assistant of SPDM will never participate in such an inelegant activity. Wait, did you just say Vertin and her team? We can talk about the ball later. The kind-hearted Matilda Buanish will try her best to help you with the task. But, of course, it's only out of her sense of responsibility, not for some personal reasons.
They go faster and faster. Finally, they reach their destination. Alright, an unnecessary information record. The patch of fragmented eras in the future, and to store the currently unimportant files and reports. People built this reference room in the shape of a box with gray and white walls. During this awful time, which may last ages, people call it the footnote of history.
Here we are. The reference room storing unnecessary information. It's a place ignored by most staff. Even so, this careful, reliable monitor assistant will not let go of any details.
She knocks on a rusty sign haughtily. I can't fucking read.
I hereby officially appoint you as the Chief Assistant of Monitor Assistant of SPDM. I will take my responsibility and teach you how to become a devoted Foundation member.
Matilda pulls off the cloth covering the archive cabinet. Dust rises in the air.
Here is your first task. Read through these unsorted old files. All of them.
Bro, you actually making us read. Oh my god. Alright, let's see. The monitor assistant takes a dusty file from the cabinet, and the paper inside is already turned yellow.
I have searched all the archived ones. These are the last parts. Most of them are discarded administrative documents, low-priority materials, and substandard reports written by rookie investigators.
Great, I understand all of that.
By the way, you should know I didn't sort any of them out for you, and they don't necessarily have what you want.
That's also some great information. Thank you.
That's all right. Leave them to me. I love reading.
Matilda Sotheby, please.
You'd better do. Here's the key.
Yeah, that's a little bit of
Keep
sass
it
on
safe.
that.
You can sit on the cushions there when you sort out the files.
Whoa.
I don't want your dress to stain the stone bench. I'll go see if I missed any files. Listen, this monitor assistant will test you on your familiarity with these files when she's back.
Well, that was nice. Okay, so please skip out the entire. Thank you. 3 hours later. Okay, that was what I was hoping for.
Double check completed. Looks like I didn't miss any relevant files.
I don't.
Phew, quite a long day. I doubt if that spoiled lady can finish all the materials. She must have been bored and fallen asleep, waiting for her tea kettler in the dream.
Damn, that's some shit talking you're doing
It
behind her
takes
back.
much more than dancing at balls to be a Foundation investigator. I'll send her back to that teacher when she wakes up. In the end, it will be the kind-hearted Matilda who finishes the task for her. Being a great monitor assistant comes with great responsibility.
Didn't you just abandon her to go get some random ass files? You don't have anything. I know that's just your avatar model. You don't have shit in your hands. So I'm assuming you just went around the park and walked some shit off. And then Sotheby's gonna be like, I did all the work you should have done. Bitch ass. Again, Matilda gently pushes the door open. Surprisingly, she is welcomed with an energetic greeting.
Oh, Miss Boanish.
Standing on a ladder, Sotheby gives her a big smile with a stack of files in her hand. The files she didn't finish reading are scattered on the ground, while the others have been well organized in the cabinets.
You didn't fall asleep. Did you sort out these files?
She did your job, you bum.
Yes, and I love these books in uncommon shapes. There are so many wonderful stories. I often read books with Sasana when father wasn't at home. We read and read until the red bomb waves woke up the sun. Moreover, these files are much easier than Miss Moisson's reading task. Here, the gentleman from River Conway tamed a whole group of Avanks. How marvelous is that?
Oh, okay. Looks like you meet the basic requirements for being a rookie investigator. Tu es plus ou moins qualifié pour être mon assistante en chef.
Yeah, I bet she is. The young lady doesn't pay much attention to the mumbles of the monitor assistant. She is busy announcing her big discovery.
And I also found this interesting report. It tells a lot about the storm and the numbers. Will this be helpful to Burton?
Probably. Get your ass over there real quickly.
Show it to me.
Oh wait, are they gonna be appearing on the ships and the ships are gonna raid the island? That'd be a twist. She takes a pile of the yellow paper from Sotheby, and this looks completely white right here. Unless you're talking about this. This looks a little bit yellow. Sort of. The neat and orderly written report has no beginning or end. Obviously, the author is a meticulous person.
I have to say, it is undoubtedly a violation to submit such a report, but it will be a travesty of the truth and human sense if I cover it up.
Peace, sense,
Oh!
justice. They have always been the creeds in my heart, and are now the reason why I've decided to write down the whole thing.
This voice kind of familiar.
A long time has passed since the first attack of the most severe crisis in our time, but we are still wondering, what on earth does it mean?
Yeah, this voice very familiar. Yeah, very fucking familiar. Anyway, I'll ignore it for now. We might find out the reporter's name, later.
Of which no one had any memories, illogically. The next day, time was already reversed to 1996, the moment we opened our eyes.
Okay, I kind of missed out some details. Hey, boy, keep my mind out is why I decided to write that whole thing along. This is the first time the most, but we are still wondering what on earth does this mean. That was the eve of the millennium, of which no one had any memories or logically. The next day, that Tyler series open our eyes. Okay.
We walked out of the building made of grey and white marble as usual, hardly aware that the sun we bathed in was from another time. Our survival was unexpected and almost unbelievable in such a calamity which swept the globe. Why did the headquarters of the Foundation survive the reverse? Why couldn't we find our younger selves in the outside world? Did any other region survive it as we did? What was the cause behind this calamity? I didn't know, nor did anyone else. Things remained unclear until time was reversed again. This time, we all witnessed that reign in the 80s.
Mm-hmm.
These files Virgin needs?
I think so.
Interesting. So, I feel like the storm is man-made. They probably already said that before in the story. I just wasn't paying attention. I feel like the story is really is man-made right now. Too many big words for me to understand, you know. I gotta understand it at my pace. She says in a trembling voice, "The Montrose sister, who has always claimed to have a cool head, has never panicked so much."
It's a report written by someone who witnessed the storm. And it has recorded the storms before Verton became the timekeeper.
Bombshell, literally, because 37 got a bomb dropped. Alright, I'll stop. So, ooh, oh, that's a picture, okay. Soaked Science? It's called 5SP, I just realized that. So, Soaked Science, after a terribly heavy downpour, it's hard to stay calm. Now, I really do hope that this is like five chapters and not like 20.
Before she became the timekeeper? Whoa. So Verton wasn't born a timekeeper.
She didn't tell you that? Wait, no one is born a
This
timekeeper.
monkey.
It's not an inherited title. Anyway, this report includes the secret chronology only accessible to the core members of the Foundation. You can only check it under the supervision of the monitor assistant before you become a qualified investigator.
Matilda dusts off the folder carefully.
No matter what the reason is, it shouldn't have been shoved in this dusty room like rubbish. To evaluate its authenticity and risk, the genius Matilda will fulfill her duty as the monitor assistant and carry out a thorough inspection of this report.
They are probably hiding it from the Foundation because they probably don't want that information to come out. If we're being perfectly honest. To evaluate the authenticity and risk the great Matilda Bochinate, I literally said her name, I can't say it, will fulfill her duty as the monitor assistant and carry out a thorough inspection of this report.
If you agree to this resolution, please nod, Assistant Sotheby.
The speech is full of terminology Sotheby has never heard of, but it doesn't matter. Based on the tone of the speech, she has already decided how to answer.
Yes.
Okay. Page 2.
That was 1985. A gloomy, miserable night compared to that peaceful morning in 1996, when we were only bothered by confusion. We didn't expect time to be reversed again. Nor did we understand the consequence. Even now, I still remember Paulina's desperate cry. One of her hens was already inside the safe area when she fell at the entrance to the headquarters.
Ooh.
And that was the only part of her left to us the next second.
Ooh,
The only legacies we found were an engagement ring on that hand and her favorite blue polka dot scarf, which we used to wrap her remains in the end. To be honest, I admired those who still remained calm and sympathized with the arcanists on the edge of mental breakdown. It had nothing to do with the 1/4 arcanist blood in my body. It was only the kind of empathy which all mankind would share out of instinct in the face of a hopeless calamity. We lost many, too many colleagues. In the materials they sent back, we even saw all the horrifying phenomena, such as one's veins turning into electric wires.
The fuck? This? Okay.
Since then, the storm, a word simply taken from visual observation, has been used to refer to the calamity. Of course, we can have a word for the calamity itself. But what words should we use to conclude all the absurdity and panic? Before the storm, we were all familiar with time. It was supposed to be a straight line connecting the past and the future. We followed the line to move forward. We broke free from ignorance. We built civilizations. We developed technologies. We promoted the well-being of mankind. And we improved our living conditions step by step. We were so sure that we were making progress on the right path.
Oh, don't worry. Well, I was paying attention.
The path was
Wait.
taken away all of a sudden. Oh, time. Our closest old friend, where are you taking us? Back to the 2 most painful war times in the 20th century? The era when no one had ever heard the hiss of steam engines, or the century when mankind was yet to be enlightened. So far, mankind has achieved a lot in history. Dynamos, automobiles, flyovers, railways, hospitals, poorhouses. But if it goes on like this, what is the point of all the efforts we have made? Now we are like a shipwreck left on the island of time, witnessing the fall of the whole modern world in the unstoppable tsunami. Even though the Foundation has lost a lot of staff members, they are still doing fine compared to Laplace. My younger brother was a good example. He was the most sensible person I have ever known. On the first day of the second reverse, he told me, in a calm manner,
"At least we have reaffirmed that Newton was right. There was never an arrow of time in classical mechanics. Neither in relativity nor quantum mechanics. That means this is absolutely normal. Whether the time goes backwards or forwards, even if it starts spinning around like a tabletop football player. They're not against the law of physics. We can go back in time and give Poincaré a medal of great profit."
The next day, he almost fell off the 6th floor due to excessive
Oh,
drinking.
what the? Damn. Man, it was just a fun journey with Sotheby and Matilda, and now we're watching some
All the perceptions of time and space developed.
sad
system
backstory.
We couldn't find any theories to explain the storm in any existing researches. There could only be two reasons for this situation. Either we've been completely wrong all the time, or we've come to a brand new world. And this new world can never make sense in the way of science, or that of physics. It cannot be verified by an independent third party, and it is impossible to be comprehended through reasoning. Is it true that we have been going the wrong way? Is it true that those once proven wrong by history, those arcanists who claim to possess gnosis, are actually on the right path? In fact, the one who put an end to the chaos was indeed not a human. This thing, I had no idea what it was. It claimed to be a machine which never stops working. It laughed at the limitations of our brains and the metaphysical mistakes we make ceaselessly.
Oh, wait, is this supposed to be the Lucy? I believe her name is?
But it did solve the most urgent issue. A system was built to tackle storm-relevant emergencies after it took charge of Laplace. The first measure it adopted was contacting all the existing branches of the Foundations at the time to confirm the scale of available manpower. Then it built observation stations all over the globe to find if there were any other regions immune to the storm. After that, numerous offices responsible for deducing the cause of the storm were established. Even though there were countless disagreements during the research, at least we had taken the first step. I handed in the application to take part in this mission, determined to get rid of the fog in my mind. In 1986, I was assigned to the office in Egypt. All my friends came to the dock to see me off.
Wait, is this Z?
Because we knew it could be the final goodbye. Even though we were equipped with the emergency communication devices issued by Laplace, we were still not clear when the storm would assault us, or where we could hide nearby.
Well, I think this might be Z, actually.
What really scared me was not the threat to my life, but the possibility of dying ignorant. Then I boarded the ship to Alexandria from Athens. And that was when I met her. Now when I recall it, it was almost impossible to ignore that group of arcanists on the ship. There were about a dozen of them, all in eccentric stitched robes. They were followers of a strange school which mixes arcanum and mathematics. I talked to them. No matter how much that conversation bewilders me now, I was more excited than confused at the time. They also survived the storm in 1996, and they noticed the unusual changes taking place in the world as well. That means I actually met another group of survivors from the Millennium.
And that's the Math Island people. She stops turning the pages.
Wait. A school of arcanists who survived the storm?
Alright, to be continued. Kata! My ears. Okay. Kane, you alright, buddy? Hold on, I'm coming to get you. Alright, Kane is just here. He's just being delusional, crazy. He's looking into me. Come on, so you gave it. What's wrong, Kane? Nothing? Alright, I'm gonna continue playing my game, alright? Is that alright with you? Yeah, I bet it is. Yeah, good boy. Okay, so number 3, Tower of Babel. Or Babel. Most of the time, language barriers are the least significant obstacle between people. There's accents people can't sell me either.
A mixture of arcanum and mathematics. The ship on the Mediterranean. Unbelievable. Our investigator actually met this group of arcanists who believed in numbers, and even left such a precious record down on paper.
Does it mean we are close to being helpful to Virgin?
Potentially. The chief assistant of the monitor lets out a cheer.
Certainly. It's what we deserve for all the efforts today. But why did they leave such an important report in the reference room storing unnecessary information? Did they misput it here after the chaos of the storm?
They are trying to hide it. Putting her confusion aside, Matilda turns to the next page of the record.
Among them, the most easygoing one was Hugh. He was an engineer as well as an arcanist. We shared
he
the
got the
same
sass.
preference for human technology, and that became our common topic. Hugh was in his 30s, red-haired, cheeks sunken, and deeply depressed due to some kind of eye disease. He was a decent man, with a prudent attitude, working at a desk most of the time. He reminded me of the imperial miniature painting artists in the Sultan's palace. Most of them ended up blind after toiling for their life. He showed me the picture of his daughter. I don't have children, but I could feel his happiness as a father.
Yeah, God, I gotta remember. I think this is 37's. No, not 37's fault. This is 37. This is. Damn, forgot her name again. God, I forgot her name. But it's her father. I guess we're gonna see 37's
Although
mother.
I got along well with Hugh, he seemed quite out of place among that group, which was actually led by her.
Yeah, 37's mother.
I don't know what words to use to describe her. She was like a meteor shower, a tempest, or an unreasonable catastrophe itself. Her existence was just like her name. It was simple, yet implied a lot. Please forgive me for my cowardice. Even now, I don't have the courage to write down her name, if one would call that a name. In fact, she was quite a kind, warm-hearted person. Among all the unregistered arcanists I've met, she was one of the nicest ones towards the Foundation. She looked young, even though I heard she had a daughter too. Besides, she still possessed the innocence of a child, and that kind of excitement exclusive for genius. That's right. It seemed the whole world was like a sparkling toy to her.
Sounds like 37.
Communication was
That sounds like her.
constant at the beginning. Both of us were eager to find out what was happening, like two shipwrecked victims grappling at each other on the sea. But I didn't have the slightest idea what she was talking about, actually.
But she was talking a whole bunch of yap. Just like 37.
The problem was not the typical communication issues between humans and arcanists. I was sure the language we used didn't pose any obstacles, but still I couldn't understand any words of hers.
Put Diary of DM, something about the golden ray rotation. They also don't like beans, apparently.
I would believe that one is highly intelligent if one can name all the factors of 11,567 without thinking. But what this one said was illogical nonsense which no one could ever imagine. She claimed that there is a world of numbers, above all else, where the non-physical essences of all things exist in the form of timeless, absolute, unchangeable ideas, and that the physical world where the time flows is nothing but an appendage, which has never been real or true. And that's why the chaos in this world is not worth any attention, and we should focus on what happened to the supreme existence. What an utter disaster combining modern maths with the ancient superstition. I saw another hubristic arcanist pretending to be the prophet by reliving Platonism. I don't even bother to mention the balderdash on soul numbers. Even the New Age movement could use some of her absurdity.
Damn. Really roasted her on that fucking number
That was
bullshit.
not yet the end. She even claimed to be aware of the exact year when the next reverse would happen. But when I asked her about it seriously, she said,
My apologies. I've made an oath. I shall and only shall reveal the demonstration to people who have their own soul numbers.
I'm not sure whether she was making fun of me or being serious, but I had this feeling that she was eager to tell me how she was granted the secret through a moment of afflatus. It seemed she just saw through the laws behind all things instead of finding them through logical deduction.
Can't you see it? It is right in front of you.
After I expressed my inability to comprehend her words 30 times, she finally gave up and proffered regrets. I'd rather take it as a new kind of humiliation. What really irritated me about her, however, was her contempt towards science and all the scientific research methods. As far as I'm concerned, the value of a theory lies in its reliability, universality, and generalizability.
Kane died. I'm looking at Kane right now. I was like, ugh. Let me see what he's doing. He's literally on his back right now, legs up. But yeah, there's a whole bunch of Yabai C-37. They are clearly related.
Our pursuit of the truth has laid the foundation of modern science, allowing us to change the world. Yet, in her eyes, the value of a theory lies in its beauty.
The peak fiction.
I talked to her on the current situation, and I told her how we would save lives and preserve the hard-earned technology of mankind if we could find the pattern of the storm. It was of course not an easy thing to do and would take enormous manpower, so I asked her sincerely to join the Foundation. Yet again she responded with contempt. She believed they would only become another military squad of the Foundation's.
Darling, maths are beautiful for their uselessness.
Damn.
That's why it remains noble and graceful in this sordid world, despite you humans' reckless action of using it to calculate ballistic.
She turned down my invitation and left an unfairly negative comment on our storm observation project.
The observation stations you built are destined to be toppled because their basis is the fragile world that follows the laws of physics. The efforts you've made are like nails on a sand beach, which will only be carried away by the next tidal wave.
This is a little bit interesting to me. So it's like they're like more nature focused in mathematics, if that's even a thing. While the Foundation, from what she said earlier, this reporter, there was this robot that did it, and she was more like more science, you know. I all got the big words to tell y'all, but you know what I mean, like robot versus non-robot, basically, is what I'm trying to say here.
But I said, perhaps our efforts are in vain, but someone has to do it. We will try every corner of the beach before making the conclusion that the world we are living in is already a hopeless ruin.
What a pragmatic, rigorous, and rational speech. But dear, the world is a hopeless ruin.
The conversation ended in disagreement. I don't know why arcanists hate the world so much. Perhaps the reason is they have never been truly accepted. To this day, I still remember her venomous conclusion.
The world built on past experiences has ended. In your words, which you used to mock us, why not embrace the reality?
Yet about the gnosis which she deeply believed in, and the so-called prophecy she made through numbers, she had never given any proofs or details that showed rigorous logic. And the reason for her inactions was an oath she had made before some stone? Therefore, I believed her words were only the nonsense of a lunatic. When we first met, I thought she was different from all those psychos, who mistook the malfunction of their prefrontal cortex as the will of God. But they turned out to be the same. In the name of human sense, I swore everything she said was absurd and ridiculous to me.
Until... Matilda, why aren't you reading?
Madame Z said the arcanists on that island are all named after numbers, because they have a strong belief that numbers are the essence of their souls. The investigator wouldn't write down her name. Is it because of the conflict between their beliefs?
Matilda turns to the next page eagerly, as if checking a novel brought in by the class by some undisciplined student. Please don't tell me there's no more after this. But the reality welcomes her with an Yep. Okay.
Huh? That's all?
That is all. Thank you, Matilda. Expedition dump. Thank you. Maybe because the story ends with an abrupt stop, or the hope to race dashed down, Matilda clenches her handkerchiefs with a sweaty palm.
Submitting such an unfinished report would only cause problems for the reviewers and evaluators. But this investigator didn't even write down their name.
Don't worry, Miss Burnish. I'm familiar with this situation. Every time after the brave Typhon defeats Jupiter, he returns to the Auto Island.
Alright, okay, let's continue on.
But each time we twist the ear of Mr. Glassbox, Typhon will show up again and again.
So she's saying that's like a hidden page, like Gravity Falls
As
type shit?
Moisson told me, the ear is the key to bringing back our hope.
Wait, don't tell me you are talking about the shows on the mechanical television?
Ignoring the monitor assistant's confusion, the enthusiastic young lady starts looking around for the ear that carries all her hope.
Stop, Miss Sotheby. Please, take a seat on the cushion and listen to me carefully. This is a detailed report written by a formal investigator of the Foundations, not some TV show full of cliffhangers. That means we will definitely find the rest somewhere.
Oh, I see. Must be a Coco treant who took away the other part of the book. Usually, they will be attracted by Luna Fixer, and by following their traces, we'll find their lairs in the stable.
You mean someone took it away? That's highly possible. Data loss is not allowed in the Foundation, especially under the Monitor Assistant's management.
We must prepare Luna Fixer. Don't forget their favorite jigging magical beans.
The fuck are you talking about?
I don't have those materials with me right now, but I can write to them. It only takes a month.
The disconcerting conversation is clearly too much for this rigorous monitor assistant.
Nuh-uh, we don't need
Nuh-uh. Nuh-uh.
Nuh-uh, we don't need that.
After taking a deep breath, Matilda takes out a crystal orb. An ambitious smile spreads over her face.
You've perfectly accomplished the task from me when you found this valuable report. Well done, Assistant Sotheby. Now it's time for the great Matilda to show a little bit of her greatness.
Alright. I was still kicking. Nuh-uh. Like, goddamn, okay. Let's see. A divination of the day. So this will be number 4. I think we'll stop here for a little bit. I'm assuming just 1 out of 4 means there's 4 parts to this for this story. I should have looked this shit up, actually. I can just look this shit up right now, but let me just start this first. Okay. Okay, let's see. We're starting off at where? There's no moonlight. There's no moonlight during the daytime. But the moon is not the only choice for divination.
Judging from the omen, it's at the northwest, the beginning and the ending of the ring, where the wall reflects repeatedly.
Okay, it appears to be 6 parts, so we'll just read this entire go through this entire mini story, and we'll just put it in one video. Holding the crystal orb with both hands, Matilda keeps adjusting her positions while trying to figure out the vague visions in the spear. Sotheby follows her with a curious face.
The northwest of SPDM. This one is straightforward.
And if it's 6 parts, let me see real quick. Let me just estimate the time. We might be over a little. Actually, we're going pretty fast. We're number 4, right? So it'll probably be like an hour and 30 minutes by the time we're done. Assuming the cutscenes don't get too big.
The beginning and the ending of the ring is not a problem either. The icon of the computing center is exactly the Ouroboros, a serpent eating its own tail. Here we are. But where the wall reflects repeatedly, does that mean a closed room with mirrors?
Oh. So she's trying to find a location. The beginning and the end of the ring. That's a lot of yap.
The mirror in the display center is a huge kinescope in the wall. And the one in the airtight laboratory is a crystal clear observation window. The one in the rehab center? No. The mirrors in the operation room have been replaced with curved electronic screens of steel structure after that xenopilot made a scene. So, where is the answer?
She slowly turns around, trying to find the perfect angle for a clearer vision. A white figure storms away from her side, almost bumping off the orb she tightly holds.
Hey! You just hit me! Shouldn't you apologize?
Where did you come from, dork?
Damn, okay, a little bit rude right here. The man groans a curse, hastily leaves this place with his hands covering his nose and mouth.
What? How could he say that?
Fucking your accent.
That gentleman doesn't look well. He's covering his face. His nose is running with purple liquid. Oh dear. Did he drink a whole bottle of purple Chrysandra juice? He needs treatment immediately. Oh, if only I had brought the Phoenix heart nerves with me.
He ran towards the rehab center. Nothing to worry about. Just another patient trying to prove he has recovered.
The hasty man disappeared completely. The little incident doesn't raise anyone's attention.
The rehab center has all the facilities and medicines he needs. He will be properly treated. But why is he wearing the uniform of Laplace? And where's the receptionist here?
Oh, wait a minute. Are we finally getting back to that story where everyone was going insane back in chapter 3? Like the start of chapter 3? The lobby of the Scientific Computing Center welcomes them with a deafening silence. The counter is no longer busy with people, but an auto recognition device instead.
Does everyone go to the weekend party night?
Probing around the counter, the temporary investigator seems determined to dig out a party gramophone from somewhere.
Absolutely not. The researchers here are too busy to do that. The computing center is working on the most urgent and vital project, the research on the immunity to the storm. We should not disturb them unless it's an emergency. So please stop calling the office and put down the telephone, Miss Sotheby. This is not the ear of a tea kettler, and it won't take you to any twist balls.
The monitor assistant can't stand the difference between their terminologies anymore.
Je sais qu'elle est débutante, mais quand même, elle est trop bizarre.
Damn, Matilda's casting her ass in French. I know she's a rookie. Oh shit, my mic fell over. Always happens. Damn, I know she's a rookie, but even so, she's way too unbelievable.
Guide new members with caution and patience. Trigger the Raflatus at the right time. J'avoue que Verten a remporté une victoire temporaire sur ça.
Yeah, Vera is doing a whole lot better job. Actually, there's probably a bomb on Vernon right now. It might have number 37 on it. Her mumblings is interpreted by the owner of the cheerful footsteps.
Miss Boonish, I just read the map on the counter. You mentioned where the wall reflects repeatedly. Does the vision refer to the racquetball center here? You see, its icon is a bouncing ball.
Genius.
Let me take a look.
Alright, let's see the map. Oh, we don't get to see it, alright.
Found it. right direction. Next, empty boxes, glasswares, and copper pieces. Looks like our destination has piles of metal.
The vision orb is growing clearer, proving that they're heading in the right direction. This eases Matilda's upset mind.
Good job, Assistant Sotheby. I have to say, I might have gone a bit too hard on you. You are more capable than I thought. Thanks to your prompt reminder, we have saved quite some time.
Sotheby is glad to help.
Yeah, good on you, Sotheby. Sotheby's having the adventure of a lifetime right now. Meanwhile, well, I'm not gonna pick up that island. The young lady gladly hops along the way, while she doesn't give up peering at Matilda's crystal orb.
Miss Boonish, since you're such a talented diviner, why don't you just divine the reason for the storm with your inherited arcanum ability? According to Ms. Moisson, the reason still remains a mystery. If the crystal orb can reveal its truth, everything will be much easier for Vertin and her team.
Divine the reason for the storm?
The brave assumptions astonishes this great diviner. She almost drops the ball. The orb.
That's impossible for sure.
She never tried it.
It's a typical mistake of laymen to believe one can see everything through divination. You are an expert on potions and arcane creatures, but you have little knowledge on other subjects. Haven't you received any systematic education on arcanum?
Education on arcanum? I'm of course well educated in arcanum, with Ms. Moisson as my tutor, and my arcane friends such as Typhon from the Auto Island, Jupiter, and...
Alright, enough.
So did she just not try? She didn't give a reason why it wouldn't work. She shakes her head, stopping her from listing another name of arcane creature that nobody has ever heard of.
I have understood the fact that the education you have received is not systematical, or say incomplete, imperfect, inelegant. But don't worry, because you are talking to the kind-hearted Matilda. She will spend her valuable time to make it up for you.
The great monitor assistant clears her throat and starts recalling what she learned when she was 12.
In fact, the system of arcanum knowledge is not completely separated from that of human science. For example, the modern pharmacy and chemistry actually originated from the experiments of potions and alchemy in the ancient times. They developed into two different systems because arcanists focused more on the knowledge ignored by scientists, which is gnosis. The knowledge we learn from divination is exactly under this category.
Wow.
Sotheby's eyes light up with amazement. Matilda takes out her notebook and draws a brief sketch on it.
Let me fill you in with more details. If two human researchers test Snell's law at two different places at the same time without making any mistakes, they will always reach the same conclusion. Or if two potionists use the same ingredients and follow the same formula to make the cough cough stop stop potion separately, their products will also have similar effects. However, if two diviners respectively perform divination on the same thing, they will probably see totally different visions. Because what the divination shows is merely omens. The interpretation of these omens is in fact a kind of subjective deduction based on the reality, and there is no such thing as a standard answer. Even if the two diviners draw the same conclusion, it is more of a coincidence than a result that implies generalizability. So diviners never check the accuracy of their divination through the review of peers. And this is an example of gnosis. Unlike human sense, it is unique and possesses no universality.
She puts it away and wriggles her index finger.
In other words, Even if someone finds out a reason for the storm through divination, they can't have other diviners verify it, because 100 different diviners will give out 100 different conclusions. The scene will be even busier than a concert at Music Verein.
Well, if you do 1,000 divinators and a lot of them get the same conclusion.
That being said, the more possible result we get from the divination is nothing. Divination cannot bring knowledge which the diviners have never learned. The divination of such world-class knowledge, as complicated as the reason for the storm, can only be performed by world-class diviners. We may find 1 or 2 diviners like that if time continues to be reversed. Like Nostradamus. But he lived in the 16th century. Besides, even Nostradamus is not always right.
But Miss Boaniche is. Thanks to your divination, we're getting closer and closer to that report, right?
You are right! Finding items, interpreting dreams, and making simple prophecies. All these things are just a breeze for the bright and clever Matilda. But inquiring about the storm is beyond my ability, and it will only bring misfortune. I will never make such a stupid mistake.
Matilda regains her radiant appearance.
In fact, this half of the report and the handwriting of the author are perfect divination media. Besides, our target is not far away from us, and I'm familiar with the surroundings, which have made things much easier than usual. It is true diviners can improve the accuracy and controllability of their gnosis by practicing repeatedly, holding the rituals properly, and making targeted preparations. But that still doesn't mean the result will be absolutely accurate.
Sotheby nods. No one could tell from her face whether she truly understands the announcement or not. I barely understand it. Basically, she's not good enough. That's what she said. That's what she said. We're reading the vision in the orb. Matilda leads Sotheby around another corner nimbly.
The report says that person who mentioned the School of Numbers claimed she was enlightened about the year of the next storm. Is that also by divination?
I am not sure what kind of arcane skills they used, but numbers are indeed a kind of omen too. I am not talking about the specific knowledge of mathematics, but the numbers themselves, because they are even more abstract than images and languages as kind of symbol. Even so, there is no way for us to verify this prophet, unless it really comes true.
Too bad they're dead.
That is also why it takes almost nothing to spread a prophecy. My mother told me many people in the outside world write to the Foundation every day, claiming to be prophets who can predict the doomsday and that requesting unemployment benefits.
The doomsday? Unemployment benefits? Oh my! The outside world is far more wonderful than I thought. How fascinating!
Unemployment benefits. Like,
This Boaniche is even greater than I expected.
You bet! Wait, did you mean I was not the greatest?
alright, let's see. They're having a little bit of fun adventure, not gonna lie. This is a bit of a fun duo. Microsoft Copilot, turn this shit off my screen. Thank you. They have reached the end of the corridor. Matilda puts away the orb and looks at the wooden door with no sign in front of her. This is where the vision leads them to. The room next to the racquetball center.
Here we are, Miss Sotheby. Now, this is the moment to verify the result of my divination.
Alright, let's see it. She opens the door with a slight push. And then the chapter ends. I was fucking joking. Wait, I didn't mean this. I was joking. Okay, well. Are you? What the fuck? Wait, no, ain't no way. Oh, I was about to say. Oh, we got a trail. We're getting a trail. Even though, let me just make sure. There's only 2 left, right? Yeah, it's 5 and 6. There's only 2 of these left. So.
If you look at the ground after the rain,
Of course,
You can
Leo.
often
Let's
see
extend
a wet,
this.
long trail, like this one. At the end of the trail, there may be a snail slowly crawling forward. Yes, forward. The snail marks the direction for us.
Actually, wouldn't she be talking to Matilda right now and not Virgin? So this is Matilda talking to her.
But what if we don't see any snails at either end? How are we going to distinguish the direction to the future from that to the past?
Like, I always assume that these trails are always talking to, like, Virgin. But since she's not here, it must be talking to Matilda. Okay, let me see if you see what's the end. How are you gonna... Sorry. We need a critique.
Criterion.
Yeah, I said that shit.
Well said, darling.
Critique.
To figure something out, you always need to make deductions based on facts and logical reasoning. What you see is not necessarily true, but what is logical is, because we haven't witnessed or experienced anything illogical so far. If something like that actually happens, it must be because we are too ignorant to understand it for the moment. This point was firmly believed by those researchers who worked in the house like canned sardines. It remained true to them until the first drop of rain rose. The sardines suddenly found that the knowledge they possessed couldn't support the point anymore. The can was opened, revealing a completely different thinking pattern to them. Whatever they used to mend the can, there was still a crevice left between the inside and the outside, and it could be ripped open again at any time.
What happened then?
The chaos didn't last. If it really was the rain that swept away the snail and messed up time, then we should look at the silver lining. Does it mean we will find out the truth of time once the secret of the rain is revealed? There has never been a shortcut like this one, since time is only an intangible concept. So then, observation stations were built all over the globe. The staff learned how to collect and keep the valuable samples efficiently, in no time. The little boxes they used to store the raindrops are still being upgraded even now. Order and silence were brought back to the labs. Every piece of gear was placed back on the right track. It was a grand feat, and no one could have accomplished it inside this huge, cumbersome machine, except another machine. She took no sides and sought only predictable results. That's why she made a decision as soon as she read that report and its attachment on her desk. The former was about a delicate component which flapped like a butterfly in that huge machine. And the latter was a piece of paper full of circles and dots. Then she stored the information on her hard disk and destroyed the report.
I see.
The paper which claimed to have recorded the locations where the storm might happen, yes, the one with the butterfly-like drawings, was retained for data comparison. It seems she's satisfied with the result.
Okay, let me just read this part here. So this is the researcher. The paperwork claimed to record location of the storm might happen. Yes, this one with the butterfly button will retain. So she did some shit. So she hid the report and then she destroyed it so the Foundation couldn't find it. I think. The Lament in silence. David's invisible hand raised up to the sky easily plucks a star from the sky. This is the second to last one. Okay. Let's see. The light is dimmed here. I'm pretty sure this is Lucy, right? That machine. An archive cabinets and organized files are everywhere, punctuated by strange devices in the Lapland style. It seems to be like an abandoned utility room.
Where are we? Lost and found of the racquetball center.
Okay. She waves the dust and struggles her way along the toppling cabinets.
The orb showed copper pieces. We need to find something that seems to be locked, but is actually not. Aha! Found it! Nothing can stop the genius, Matilda.
Uh-huh. She finds what she's looking for in a rusty drawer. Obviously, the report has been here for a very long time. So yeah, this is the reporter. I think Lucy or Z's desk. So that they stored it in here, and they guess put a copy in the room for someone else to find it. In the corners, curl became of a damp air. Luckily, the writing was still recognizable.
The trip to Egypt didn't go smoothly. The ship was hit by a common storm at sea. We were lost in the fog after that, completely off course. Then something emerged from the water. Since the first storm, the Foundation has received frequent sightings of arcane creatures which should have been extinct in history.
Okay.
I had no idea what I was shooting at, even after I emptied the clip. And I didn't know what to do. Those arcanists brought us back on course. She named the precise longitude and latitude of our location, even without using the sextant in the spare cabin.
Did they get attacked by the octopus thingy?
I wonder how she did that. Perhaps the world did look different in her eyes. Then when I was about to step on a random plank on the ship, she suddenly dragged me back. I thought it was only an inappropriate joke. But the next second, the plank broke. I was stunned, and asked her how she saw that coming. She just answered me as if we were talking about the weather.
Because that plank is deformed like a rhombus.
I was confused. Where is the
A rhombus?
She laughed.
The rhombus can't be seen with eyes. You shall close your eyes, hearken to the teaching of the Supreme Existence, and seize the moment of afflatus.
Of course, I didn't see anything. Nor did I understand what the moment of afflatus was. Perhaps it's just another privilege enjoyed by arcanists, just like their right to be lunatic. Nevertheless, she reached the correct conclusion in a completely wrong way. Is it really possible?
Yes, I do it all the time.
Anyway, she saved my life. But that was not enough to settle the differences between us. She remained rejective to working with the Foundation, and I finally gave up on the attempt to persuade them.
That's you, and that's her, I'm assuming?
My mission on that trip was not to make
Or
contact
someone else?
with them. Besides, what we needed was builders of the storm observation system, not some liars who would only make things worse. As for the shelter they took from the storm, she wouldn't say a word, as if she were dealing with a spy who tried to find out the deepest secrets of the Arcanists. In the end, Hugh mediated between us. He gave me an address in Istanbul to which I could send the letters to contact them. After that, I spent more than half a year in the Egypt office. Things were even worse there than I expected.
So, I still don't know her name, but her dad had a name, while her, I guess we're calling her, probably had a number name, just like how it is with the 37. And it actually was her name, because I did forget. It was a B name, right? Oh, Rebecca? I think her name was Rebecca.
Some have gone missing after the storm. The people who were supposed to be in the Egypt office, according to the member list stored in the headquarters in 1985, were not there when I arrived. The situation could be caused by the limitations of the transmission of paper-based materials, or because the computer was not yet popularized to every corner of the globe at the time. One minor mistake of a copyist could develop into a huge difference. Besides that, the chaos inside Laplace was an even worse issue.
Butterfly
Alleged
effect.
that someone published the paper Samplings of Global and Regional Chaotic Energy Route Changes in the name of Butterfly of Lorentz. Apparently, they secretly used our sampling sites, yet their research direction and conclusion were radically different from Laplace's. The researchers equally divided into two schools, one sticking to the human technology they have focused on, and one changing their direction to Arcanum. At the time, it was still too early to decide which direction was right, without sufficient experimental data. But many already believed that if time continued to be reversed, human technology would only keep falling into decline, while Arcanum, which relies on personal ability, would rise again. It's true that Gnosis cannot be copied, verified by an independent third party, or comprehended through reasoning. Its nature decides that it cannot lay the foundation of science or be popularized to every ordinary person. It takes solid marble to build a castle, not slippery sand. Even so, what harm will it do to rely on Arcanum when the underlying logic of all things has become unreasonable? Before the disagreement was settled, the storm in 1987 was predicted. We were ordered to return to the headquarters 24 hours before its arrival. But the prediction was not accomplished by Laplace. A captive from Manus Vindictae names the precise date of that storm. Our enemies, those lunatic xenophobes, valuing only pure blood, made it further than we did. Yes, we built observation stations, we made countless deductions, we developed multiple simulation models. We made efforts, we sacrificed life, we did whatever we could. Yet the result was that we didn't find any other regions immune to the storm, except the headquarters and another one in North America. In the end, 95% of the branch members were reversed. 87.9% of the equipment was destroyed, and 100% of our predictions failed. In conclusion, our endeavor brought no achievements. As for the captive from Manus Vindictae, the delirium patient who claims that oracles flowed under his parietal bone, when we asked him how he learns the precise date of the storm, he burst into laughter.
Can't you hear it? Has God left you behind when he spread his grace?
Then, he smashed his own skull with a handcuff.
Ah.
Yes, there was no doubt. He was an incurable lunatic. But his insane nonsense was exactly the reason we survived the storm again. No matter how unreasonable or illogical it was, or how much a lie it sounded like. So we'd better believe we shouldn't go out in black today because the fish is swimming in the water. We'd better believe in the existence of the non-physical, everlasting, transcendent world where everyone's soul is a number. We'd better believe in the supreme existence which caused the disorder of time by merely casting its shadow. That means the life of individuals means nothing more than rubbish, and the world is but an imperfect ruin, where only the chosen ones will pass the trial, where the rest will be eliminated by the rain. How am I supposed to do that? Finally, I made up my mind to write to her. I didn't expect her to answer my questions. All I wanted was to confirm if she had survived that storm. For the sake of our peaceful talk about the rhombus. Yet what I heard from them was a simple announcement of her death. With only 2 words.
She died. Damn. Got me a little bit touchy-feely again. Goddamn, got me a little bit sheesh. I can't change the volume.
She died. Then it burned and turned to ashes in a second. On the same day, the first and only timekeeper who just took office, the 12-year-old child, returned alone from the storm. She told us the time in the outside world at that point. And that was how I knew she was right.
It is right in front of you.
What? If there is a god, why are you playing such a prank on us? After we had suffered from the collapse of all the existing orders and the failure of all the great laws. If this is what she calls a glimpse of the supreme existence, the moment of afflatus, do you have to present it in such a cruel way? The last 2 digits in the number of the year after that storm were exactly her name and her number. 77.
I have no clue what that is. I think that's okay. Damn. Let me just go back and read this shit for myself. So the timekeeper was 77. Well, the person before Verton, so was, I think, anyways, because this is what she's talking about. What? A 12-year-old child returning alone from the storm, and Verton is 0. Well, this person is 77. I forgot what that shit meant. I forgot what that shit meant. Goddamn. Wait, hold on. That's why we got Google. We got Google here. Let's see. Verse 19. I might get spoiled actually, but I'm gonna do it anyway. 77. Let me see. I think it might be actually, this might be that lady. Yep, it is just the lady name. I'm pretty sure. I'm not gonna look any further just because I get spoiled. There might have been a picture or something, but I'm not gonna pay too much attention to that picture. 2 digits. That's the full stop of the story.
Incroyable! Incroyable! C'est vrai! Quelqu'un a vraiment fait cette prophétie!
Unbelievable. Unbelievable. It's actually true. Someone did make that prophecy.
Bertin and Soneto will be thrilled to know what we found. Well done, Miss Sotheby. You performed as well as a formal investigator. We need to submit this report to your instructor immediately.
I think you should just skip that and go straight to Verton. Grabbing the or I guess Z is her instructor, so let's go back to Z. Grabbing the papers tightly, Matilda turns around with excitement. Sotheby isn't the person standing there.
What are you doing in other
shit.
rooms?
Dan, you look cool actually. You look fucking cool as fuck. The report is snatched away.
This is my personal item. You have no rights to take it.
You're not the reporter. I don't think so.
Please leave immediately.
Personal item? This is a precious record that should have been submitted to the Foundation. According to Administration and Regulations for Dispatch Personnel, St. Pavlov Foundation Decree number 259, every member of the Foundation, when acting as a field investigator, is required to create a comprehensive investigation report of all their actions and promptly submit it.
And they are obliged to ensure the authenticity, objectivity, and impartiality of the report. No personal bias is allowed in the content. If you have read this report, miss, you should know that it's not even qualified to be filed.
But this is an emergency!
The Storm Reformation Act is still new to her. She can't think of any articles that support her point of view. She racks her brains for words, but before she can mix one up, the other person starts talking with one of his eyebrows raised.
I can tell from your uniform, you are a student of SPDM, or... This is Laplace. Do you have your guardian's approval to leave the school, Miss Underage Student?
Approval? I don't need that. I am not a student. You are talking to the exceptionally promoted monitor assistant of SPDM. Here is my ID.
She holds her ID card at high as if she's holding the flag of liberty. But she's ignored. The adult walks directly into a swivel chair in the room and pays attention to the educational toy on the table.
Did you just nor a formal administrator of the Foundation? This monitor assistant will report every misbehavior of yours. Every little bit of them.
Cope. Wordless, the monitor assistant can't be more embarrassed in her life. She looks around to find that Sotheby is gone. Luckily, the chief assistant learns faster than she expects. The familiar sing-song tone is making a report to our own tutor outside the half-open door.
Miss Moisson, we found that report here. The great Miss Divination and I discovered some important information. I came to you and Madame Z immediately after we read it. Miss Divination, why are you confronting Mr. Chair?
Sotheby stands at the door, her head tilted. Two adults are behind her.
I didn't expect to see the second half of that report here in your room, Adler.
This time, the owner of the voice can't be ignored. The silver chair unwillingly turns around.
Don't call me that, friend. Why not just call me Enigma? Just like everyone else. Relax. I know nicknames mean no harm. But I don't understand. How is a report filled with meaningless words of any concern to you, Madam Z?
It provides information about the Arcanist group Virgin is now dealing with. If possible, please give it to me.
Of course. How can I turn down a request from Constantine's chief of staff? Take it away. I hope you don't mind the mold on it.
Doesn't sound like they got too good of a relationship. The researcher stays seated on a chair and casually hands out the report. Madame Z smiles. She seems glad to see Enigma still has the energy to be sarcastic. But clearly, the monitor assistant can't tolerate such a blatant violation of the staff regulations.
Please pay attention to your manners and do not bring disgrace to the computing center, Mr. Rude.
Miss Mosium taps her on the shoulder and quickly looks in the direction of the door.
Ms. Buanish? Ms. Sotheby? You've done a great job. I'm sure what you have found would be of great help to Timekeeper. And I will report your active performance in this mission to SPDM as soon as possible, Ms. Buanish. We need to further analyze the files you found. The first on the scene could provide more detailed information. Let's get out of here.
All right.
Exceptionnelle!
Active performance. The word keywords given to the young monitor assistant as a giddy pleasure. She can't help but ignore everything else Miss Mosium says.
Oh la la, exceptionnel! No, no. Calme-toi, Matilda. I didn't accomplish it alone. Assistant Sotheby also played a significant role. Hooray!
Okay. A loud cheer interrupts Matilda's mumbling.
That is to say, Miss Burnish, we can start preparing the balloons and flowers for the twist ball.
Speaking of which, this monitor assistant still needs to think about it. By the way, just call me Matilda.
She struggles to get out of Sotheby's passionate hug. The great joy brought by Miss Mosium makes her actions clumsy. Sharing and discussing, the girls leave the room. Madame Z carefully puts the valuable report away. The researcher shovels it in the chair again and hides himself from the fortress made of dusty items. He talks through the cabinets and equipment in a slow manner.
There will be no advance in human technology. You think so? Even the Madame Z has given up on the study of theoretical physics and become a politician.
No. I've never thought of that.
He turns to the door with a faint smile. And we still got one more. The door is closed, but I'm sure it's just the end. We still got one more, and they'll be done with the entire star thing. I don't feel like it's been that long. Yeah, new direction. Ooh, I get some goodies. Nice. So, new direction. First clear, yep. A new stem whistle sounds. By all means, board the ship. Alright, let's finish this off and call it a day. The dramas have ended. All is profoundly hushed in the cool, dark room. The researcher sighs and starts settling the messy papers and dusty tools on the table. Why is it mistaken for for a utility room? Is it because of the mess? It's surely not ideal. Metallic footsteps come from outside the door.
I am astonished by the fact that you are interacting with others.
It's Lucy. I think that's her name. Another trespasser.
They broke in.
The robot in charge of Laplace's scientific computing center shrugs and refuses to make any comments. She's already heard all the information she needed in the corridor.
If it was a complaint that you were making, you know it is within your rights to submit an interdepartmental complaint within 7 days after the incident.
Don't bother. That file means nothing to me. I didn't file it because it is a report against the rules. Why bother to submit such a log full of personal feelings and emotional behaviors to our great, rigorous foundation?
Is that so? I am gratified to find that you still have some sense.
I too am gratified that you still have no idea that I was being sarcastic.
Oh, that was sarcasm.
Never mind. What do you want from me, Madam Lucy?
He asks as he bends down and organizes the papers scattered all over the place. This is the best effort he cares to make to receive a guest.
You went all the way to this dusty, rundown place, so hurriedly that you even forgot to put on that pathetic mask. This is not because of some old files, I assume.
The faceless robot inclines his head in agreement.
Certainly. I hope you can be the cryptographer of the Manus Vindictae's ritual. You are still the best.
You are asking me, a human, to decode the ritual of a pureblood arcanist group? I don't see how I'll be helpful to this project.
Now I want an idea.
You cannot evaluate your own level of being of value, Adler.
I want an idea of that guy. He got a good fit going on. The researcher keeps unfolding more dusty folders without raising his eyes from the table.
Well, you evaluate our value. Test us in experiments you set. Prove the hypotheses by exhaustion. Make mistakes and start all over again. You repeat the process like a roaring locomotive that pulls the research center out of this chaotic disaster. You question not what is ahead of you, nor whether the path you've taken will be regular or easy. The only idea you planted into your little brain is to move forward, to improve.
Thank you for your compliment. Credit goes to everyone.
That was not even a... Guess you agree. A life without creativity is not worth living. And that's the life that I wake up to every day. I'm no longer the person you thought you came here for. I'll never be able to combine human technology and Arcanum. And I'll never comprehend even the slightest part of it. I am useless to you.
He squares up the paper on the desk in a grumpy manner, making a huge knocking noise.
I don't expect someone made of tin to understand the human mind. But I beg of you, leave me alone.
The robot ignores his emotional speech and keeps talking.
The work of analyzing the masks of Manus Vindictae did not go well. A side effect occurs in the researchers, and it is getting worse. The isolation wards on the basement level are overwhelmed.
Wait, they putting that shit on? I didn't click on that.
What a scene. Have you aborted the experiment?
No.
Not yet.
Exactly.
We have conducted the Arcanum imaging experiment on the masks and found a component which also exists in the raindrops of the storm. But knowing what it is composed of does not help explain how it works. What we're looking for is the original ritual that the Manus cast on them.
You're trying to figure out one's career planning from one's physical examination report.
I am not clicking on that shit.
Working. Even if somehow you manage to find the original ritual, you still need a proper environment to test it, which is the outside world with a coming storm.
The researcher turns to her, wisdom and sarcasm glow in his eyes.
That's why we can't tell if we're getting results. Even if we had the right ritual, proper permission from the Foundation to travel, and strong-minded volunteer subjects, experiments performed in the Ivory Tower won't succeed because... Oh shit, I gotta click again.
An experiment about the storm can only be done in a storm. Glad to see your brain is not rusty yet. It only took you 3 sentences to draw the conclusion which took the seminar a week to reach. That proves you are capable of the project.
He got you there. The robot in charge puts a document on the table.
The history maintenance team has forecast different critical points of this storm. Foundation investigators are on their way.
This is a new ID. I mean, I'm just gonna call my IDs fucking. That's how I know them. I don't know if this is an ID or not, though. I know this one is.
If Manus Vindicte still plans to accelerate the storm, like what they have done in 1929, there will be a high possibility that their people will show up at the transformation point of history and society, also known as the critical point of time, the center of the storm.
Okay, we must be getting close to be caught up now, because now they're actually showing characters that I see in spins now. I mean, in draws. We gotta be getting closer.
Your sister, Greta Hoffman, is also one of the investigators.
That's a guy? I mean, girl?
I have no interest in any Hoffmans other than myself. We have different perspectives.
It is okay. I am just here to inform you that if any of the investigators successfully send the information of the ritual back, the research about the immunity of the storm will be conducted immediately. Take your time and be mentally prepared. But once the storm alert is issued, we only have 24 hours to verify the feasibility of the ritual. I wish you will be fully prepared by then.
Okay. The robot gets out of the room, leaving him no right to choose. Her feet crash to the floor, making a steely sound. Enigma's eyes flicker towards the document. The face on top of it was so familiar to him. He pulls out the drawer and takes out a scrap of paper. This is the last code he didn't give to anyone.
One thing is for sure now. The age of humans has come to an end.
And then to be continued. Okay. The end. Alright, yep, so that was the start. That wasn't long. I thought it was gonna be a lot longer when I saw that 4 wasn't the end. But we got chapter 6 now. Which 11 Steli. Yes, I pronounced that word completely. Anyways, I'm just gonna check how many chapters that is real quickly before I start yapping a bit. Not just chapter 6. Chapter 6 length. Main story. Chapter 6. Okay, so let's see. Is it? I'm just gonna scroll all the way to the bottom. There is 24, I believe. There's 24 parts. Yeah, there's 24 parts to that to this chapter right here, which we aren't gonna start right now. We got 8 days to finish this shit. I'm still not near as done getting all this shit done, but I'll get to it eventually. But yeah, interesting. So I'm guessing that lady in the report is not, well, it's not Z now. I don't think it's that guy that just came out. I'm pretty sure it is the sister that made the report. And we're probably gonna find out more about her in this next chapter. So yeah, thank you all for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.